Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn and welcome to the channel. We have some more reaction content for you, and today we are taking a look at Saturnalia. Now, before we get into the game itself, I will say that the game is a story, horror, survival game of some sort, but Saturnalia is a legitimate thing, right? So I'm just going to read this quick little bit from Wikipedia of Saturnalia is an ancient Roman festival and holiday in honor of the god Saturn, held in December. The holiday was celebrated with a sacrifice at the Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum and a public banquet, followed by private gift-getting, continual partying, and a carnival atmosphere that overturned Roman social norms. Gambling was permitted, blah, 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 and so on. So, Saturnalia is considered also to be one of the precursors to Christmas that we celebrate today, which sets an interesting tone of what this game might be, given especially at Saturnalia, as we just talked about, there was sacrifices because we used to do that for the part of the celebration. I don't know fully what that might mean in terms of the overall tone and story of the game, but that's what we're here to find out. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into it, and let's see what Saturnalia has in store for us. Footage shot during has what? During our location scouting for the game. Okay.
Ignusa, it was called by the Greeks. Sardo by the Canaanites. Sandaliotis or Griophelps.
I see what they mean.
An island with as many stories as names, as many mysteries, sunk into the cobble and set of the atavistic settlements strewn across its breadth. Settlements like Gravoy, a village distraught by its shadowed past, taken up by its own secrets. Whispers thicken the atmosphere. Streets ebb and bleed with the low disquiet of generations. A rolling fold of observance and abased shame. Old rites pervade here. Chief among them, a carnival with as many names as this island, as many rites as stones in an arage.
Oh, weird.
Lucinata, Sol Invictus, Yule, St. Lucy's Day. Saturnalia, the celebration of the winter solstice, the birth of a new sun, the death of the past. Feast and revelry abide in unrepentant chaos. Masked abandon, animal ritual, a terpsichore of release and revelation. Release and revelation. All of us have secrets. Every one of us, an invisible world, a feint, an implication, a dance of haze and shadow, endless with silent stories tamped and shuddered and strangled within. How many are woven into the wretch and hollow of this island, the berm and crush of this town? How many secrets beset those who mill its lanes and sidle unhalted through the closing of an age? What were they to seek out and face the truth sunken into the stone of this town? What would they find? What will we find?
That was a really good trailer. Like, just the general energy in that trailer was really solid. Interesting art style. So the direction itself makes me think of a lot of the Telltale games with the heavy lines and stuff that goes across characters for texture, which is not bad at all. I feel like Telltale has is a good art direction to take. The thing that stuck out to me more though was the frames that and it's not that that the game was struggling or anything like that. The animations are made in such a way that your character is very defined and intentionally having this stutter animation of its motion, which also led to a very unique presentation of its art direction. Okay, we're going to keep moving along. This is super short. This is only 34 seconds. This is from the dev's official YouTube channel. This was back in November of last year, but it is a nice 4K 60 FPS showcase of the actual gameplay itself. Holy volume. You see how it almost feels like the characters are moving in stop motion? Okay. So we'll move forward. So this is the gameplay overview trailer. This is moving forward all the way into Gamescom. This is August of last year. So this will give us a better idea, hopefully, of how we're actually going to be playing this game.
Welcome to Saturnalia, a horror adventure game with elements of investigation, puzzle solving, exploration, and roguelite progression. You'll play as a cast of characters,
RogueLike?
some available from the start, and some to be unlocked during your adventure. They all have their own personal motives and storylines, but they share a common goal: escaping the village of Gravewood and the rituals of the winter solstice. Each character has unique tools and abilities to help you explore hidden areas and survive. There are no markers or virtual compasses in Saturnalia. As you learn your way around the village of Gravewood, you'll orient yourself with signs and local landmarks. Change your character or team up for more flexibility. Even ask your companion to guide you somewhere with the in-game maps.
Hopefully they're always right. You're like, hey buddy, can you show me the pharmacy is? They're like, yeah, I think it's over
Use
here. They
phones
lead you to
to
the hotel and you're
continue
like,
on
fuck.
from a different location, or ask a teammate to meet up. As you explore, you will discover shortcuts and secret passages, connecting the various parts of the village and its surroundings in a complex three-dimensional maze. Keep track of your many discoveries in your mind map, grouping crucial clues and tracking your objectives. Often, tools will be required to create new routes, solve puzzles, or uncover useful resources.
This looks like a game you'd be super into, Athena.
Such resources are scarce and must be managed wisely, and have less obvious uses for you to discover. Use matches to light your way, mark where you have been, and find hidden objects. As you explore the winding alleyways of Gravewood, be careful. You are not alone roaming the streets after curfew. Some will help you. Some will try to stop you, and something is hunting you.
I don't feel like that was a very good hiding spot.
If you are captured, all is not lost. Switch to another survivor to find your companions and free them. But beware, once you lose all your characters, the village will be generated anew, with new roads and connections to discover. You won't lose your progress in the story or the puzzles, but you will have to relearn again your way around the strange village of Gravewood.
Okay. I don't know if I like that mechanically, because like it's not, I understand what they mean now by it has roguelike elements in it, in terms of like if you fail, the city essentially reshuffles, but the fact that you don't lose all of your other progress, I could see it being really annoying though. Okay, this is the launch date announcement. Gotta vibe out to the ritual music, man. The chants. And it releases October 27th. Okay, so that's Saturnalia. And like, so the only thing that I'm struggling with now in terms of the presentation of this game is really that roguelike mechanic to it. Like you said, Athena, especially since there isn't a map at all. And like, I understand that there isn't a map because the city is procedurally generated. So having a map that you can just pull up might not be that simple. But I say that, but there's maps in the city. So it makes me wonder if it's actually procedurally generated or if there's just different versions of the city. Like, because, you know, they went to the map and they're like, yeah, can you take me to the pharmacy? And you can see the pharmacy on the map. I don't know. That specific mechanic seems a bit odd. And it's, I don't know. I feel like I couldn't know what my opinion is on it unless I played the game and found out for myself, because just on that description, I'm like, I feel like I would hate that. A lot of the rest of that is fine, right? And I guess that's because you can technically lose the game if all of your survivors get captured. But the fact that it reshuffles the city, yeah, I don't know. I'm very torn on it because it does like save your puzzle progress and you retain your items, it sounded like, and you retain your story progress. But the city reshuffling, and if it reshuffles in a bad way, man, that could be really frustrating. I don't know. It gives me pause, and some pretty strong pause. So, but that's Saturnalia. It is going to be on the Epic Game Store. We've talked about Epic Game Store a little bit recently, and I feel like this is a game that's fine that is a Epic Game Store exclusive, because we were looking at a multiplayer game recently, and the multiplayer game was like, man, restricting that to the Epic Game Store, I feel like is just asking for failure because of the adoption rate of the Epic Game Store and the discoverability on the Epic Game Store. Like, I feel like people have the Epic Game Store for like Fortnite, and then if you're not there for Fortnite, you're there for games that you otherwise wanted that are exclusive to the Epic Game Store. And I don't feel like this game is one that is getting the attention to where it'll be found on the Epic Game Store. But since it's not multiplayer that relies on a player base to exist and instead is a single player game, I feel like it can do fine over there if you are able to get people to go over there to buy it. And because it's not reliant on multiplayer bases, if it does end up on Steam in like a year, then it can potentially get like a resurgence and stuff like that and have people trying it out, even if it's past its initial release date. I like the visual style. I like the presentation. I like the tone. I like a lot of what I saw. Oh man, just the amount of pause that mechanic gives me. I do have the Epic Game Store page up. It doesn't have a price on it currently, as just a heads up on that one. So I personally, I would price this depending on the entirety of its length. I feel like it's a $20 release, but games are getting more expensive, so that might mean that it's actually closer to $30 just because of the way that games pricing has been going. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that's Saturnalia. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear from you. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. Where's this game landing for you? How's it hitting on your radar? Are you bothered by the Epic Game Store exclusivity, or is it something that you're going to be able to go over there and jump into regardless? What are your feelings towards that roguelike mechanic of the city reshuffling itself if you lose all of your survivors? Let me know. Put your thoughts down in the comments below. If you want to keep the conversation elsewhere, two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter. Speaking of Discord, we actually have a channel dedicated to these reactions where you can place links of your own that we can watch together live on stream, because we do stream 4 days a week: Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and I would love to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. If you want to catch future videos, please subscribe to the channel. And if you do go watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you and enjoy.